Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope everybody's doing okay. I know a big chunk of the U.S. got hit with a pretty good snowstorm last weekend, so hope everybody's good shape, staying warm. Here in Nashville, we got about 4 inches of snow, but then we got about an inch of freezing rain, at least where I live. So if you haven't experienced freezing rain in your part of the world, it's a mess, man. It's like an evil villain just came in and just coated the entire town with just ice. You can't open your car doors. You obviously can't walk on anything anywhere. You're gonna bust your butt. I've done it. I've only done it once, but it's not fun. When you're stuck inside with no electricity, it was single digits for a while. The temperature at night was 5 the other night, 12 the next night. Today it's up to 35, so it's pretty awesome. I decided to get out. There's ice on this garage, and as it's melting, as it's in the sun and melting, there's a little angle. So every now and then a piece of it slides off and down here. And the first time it happened, it scared the crap out of me. So when you're stuck inside for days because everything's frozen and you have no electricity, you start reading a lot. At least I do. I'm going to show you a book here in just a minute. But before I do, I don't want to assume everyone knows the origin of the name Jeep. Prior to getting this vehicle, I knew nothing about the origin of Jeep. I just knew that Jeeps started in World War II, or at least I thought they did. And that's really the history of the Jeep that I knew. So the origin of the name, there's a couple of schools of thought. Originally, a lot of people say this vehicle, this 1/4 ton 4x4, the military referred to it as a general purpose vehicle, which was shortened to GP. Say it really fast, GP. It kind of starts to sound like Jeep. So a theory is a lot of them just started calling it a Jeep based on that. Another school of thought is back during the mid to late 30s, the Popeye comic strip in the newspaper. Olive Oil, Popeye's girlfriend, had given Popeye a gift that she had received from her uncle who had just gotten back from Africa. And this was a little animal. It looked like a dog, and his name was Eugene, and he was called a Jeep, Eugene the Jeep. He could do magical things. He could do almost anything, and he got Popeye and Olive Oil out of some jams from time to time. So part of the vernacular of these soldiers in World War II, they would have known the word Jeep from this comic strip. Everybody read comic strips back then, not just kids. There weren't memes, there weren't internet to get the humor where we get it today. So the vernacular of the World War II soldiers would have included the word Jeep. They would have been familiar with it. So a lot of people think since this Jeep could do anything, Eugene the Jeep could do anything, that's where the name came from. I personally think it's a combination of the two. Now, moving on from there, Preproduction Civilian Jeeps by Fredric Coldwell. And this book is phenomenal. There is a lot of history in here. Mr. Coldwell did an unbelievable job documenting. There's photographs. There's a lot of research that he did. So I was very impressed with how it was written. So check this book out. So there's a section in this book that goes over the trademark battle that Willys Overland had with the U.S. government. Essentially, Willys saw very early on that there was going to be a market for these after World War II. And so they were trying to get a trademark on the word Jeep. They first issued an application to the trademark office in 1943, and that didn't get settled until like 1950. 7 years of going back and forth with the U.S. government about whether or not they could get a trademark on the word Jeep. The government felt like it was a generic term that everyone used. I think it could be compared to like the way we use the word SUV today. All car manufacturers may have a SUV model, but that word doesn't describe a particular car itself, just the type of car. So anyway, that's what the government's argument was. And Willys Overland did not give up. They kept publicizing the word Jeep. They kept manufacturing vehicles with Jeep on it. They clearly had plans to make civilian model Jeeps after World War II. But what surprised me was the first vehicle that had the word Jeep on it was not what we think of as a Jeep. It was actually a 1941 AmeriCar made by Willys Overland. See here, it's got Jeep on the front bumper, and I'm thinking, oh, they just spray painted that, or they use a template and they painted that on there to make the government think that they were using the word Jeep back then. But actually, if you look down the center of the hood, you can see where there's actually a Jeep emblem there. And I was like, oh my God, Jeep was first used on a car? Interesting. Willys Overland used the name Jeep quite a bit. So I'm kind of surprised how it took 7 years to sort this out with the government. So that picture of the car was submitted to the patent office originally to show them that they had used this name on a vehicle before and it wasn't a generic term. So that was really interesting to me. Another piece of evidence that Willys Overland submitted was something that really blew my mind. In one of Willys Overland's follow-ups to the U.S. government, it stated that they already owned a trademark for the word Jeep, which I was like, wait, what? According to the book, Willys noted it also owned trademark registration number 399258 on the word Jeep for an auto-electric burglar alarm. So it should receive the benefit of doubt on the registerability of the same name for a related automotive product. I don't know when they got that trademark for the word Jeep on a burglar alarm, but I know that the argument was denied by the examiner on December 9th, 1944. It's a complicated story. Now, I know this is the second time I've talked about a book on one of my episodes, and I know you guys are probably thinking, did I join a book club when I followed this guy? No, just like I said, it was cold. I was indoors doing a lot of reading. Ice on my boots has melted in here, but it's refreezing on the concrete, and I'm about to bust my ass. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys stay warm. Help a neighbor if you can. There's a lot of cold people out there that could use some help. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next episode. He could do anything, and he could get Popeye and olive oil out of some. He could get. They first issued trademark. They Willys Overland was very. Jeep already owned a. I keep saying Jeep, and I'm trying to say Willys Overland. Man alive. Teleprompter. I got to get me a teleprompter.